XL 92.5 FM. Now, recruiting tips, advice, and better ways to train. B3 Better presents The Amateur's Edge with Jerrian Sanders, Randy Wade, and A.D. Roberts.
Good morning, and welcome to The Amateur's Edge. It's going to be a great day because we got some awesome guys, some great guests in here. Jay is not in the building today. He is on assignment outside.
That's what we call that now?
That's what we're going to call it. He's on assignment.
Who we got in replacement?
He's on assignment.
Let's talk about
it. But, listen, we got Randy in the house. Of course, we got Randy. Randy is always here. And, man, my man, Cleo Lemon, the NFL great, the legend, the man is in the building. Glad to have you here, man.
Hey, man, I'm just glad y'all opened them doors for me, man. Y'all keep locking me out, man. Every time I come up here, I get locked out, man. What's up with that, man?
We got to do something about that.
Can I get some keys to the building? You know what I'm saying?
Need some keys, bro?
We'll work on that.
All right, I'm going to have to go to Home Depot after we leave the show. Hey, but before we start, man, I have to say this. For the first time in history, I actually, listen to what I'm saying now, I actually miss Jerrian, bro. Because,
you miss Jerrian.
I miss Jerrian, bro. I'm going to tell you why. Man, it's been so cold in Jacksonville for the last couple of days. And you know how he got that hot breath. He got that hot breath. You know what I'm saying? Breath with a, you know what I'm saying? He got that hot breath.
This is the amateur's edge. This is not like an amateur comedian hour.
I like to practice.
Or anything like that. It's just not what we do. We talk about sports. So can we talk about some sports? Now go ahead and kick that off.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about sports. All right, let's give a big up to one of our guests, Ohio State cornerback, former Ohio State cornerback, Amir Reed, actually committed this week to Lincoln University, the Oaklanders. So that's awesome, to give everybody a gist of what kind of happened. He a couple years ago, he was charged for a rape charge at Ohio State, and they kind of just dropped him and kind of put him to the curve. Earlier this year, he was found not guilty for all charges, and now he's back on the football field. So that's a great thing, awesome thing.
Congratulations, King.
Oh yeah,
congratulations, King.
Big time. Also, we're going to talk about the LSU Championship Tigers, the female basketball team. Cleo, showed up to the White House. Iowa team wasn't there, and they, were rewarded for winning a championship in NCAA. Mm-hmm. How you feel about that?
As far as them showing up?
Yeah, 'cause a lot of them said they weren't going to show up.
Well, everybody has their right to, in decision making, and if they want to go, I would definitely take advantage of that opportunity. How many times you'll get a chance to go to the White House, right?
Yes.
But for those that chose not to go, it's their decision, for whatever reason, politics, it doesn't, align with the schedule, it's a conflict of timing issues. So whatever the case may be, but at the same time, I heard something about somebody passing out at this thing.
Yeah, I think her name was Shamika. She passed out, and one of the freshman players. Mm-hmm. But being in the military 20 years, I will tell you this. When you have to stand up for a long time, you cannot lock your knees.
She locked them knees out?
She locked them knees out, man. It happens. I'm telling you, it happens all the time in the military, man. We do something called quarters, or we do something like ceremonies and stuff, and people lock their knees, man. You just pass out.
So you didn't pass out?
No.
Oh, okay. It sounds like you speak from experience.
Knees are never locked.
You got them made to style your knees?
Yeah, I got them good knees.
Okay.
Them good knees.
What they were serving in the minute bowl? What they got drinks over there? They serving the kids drinks? No. They serving the kids drinks before you meet the president.
Yes, sir. And A.D., man, it's going down tonight, man. We have the game, the Heat versus Boston, man. 8 o'clock, 8:30 tonight, East Coast. Man, who y'all going with?
Ooh. Playoff Jimmy.
Yeah. For sure.
Playoff Jimmy?
Yeah.
Give me that. Man. Give me playoff Jimmy. I'm taking playoff Jimmy to close him out. I need to log into my sports app. Let me go ahead and make this bet real quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we need Jimmy gonna make me some money tonight, man.
I know one thing. Before I answer who it is, if they don't win tonight, they in trouble. They in trouble. The Heat in trouble. If they don't win tonight, they in trouble. They in trouble.
Okay. Who they beat in the first round?
The Heat?
Yeah.
The Heat beat the number one team. They beat
Okay. And they in trouble? They playing with house money.
All I'm saying, though, the pressure, man. It's something about pressure, man. You can do the most simplest thing, and pressure definitely busts my
I think once they took Giannis out, I think that took all the pressure. That's just my opinion. They playing with house money. That's why they doing what they doing. They beat Giannis.
I got you, man. I understand. Fully loaded team that has some injuries.
Giannis was the #1 seed.
I'm telling you, they just didn't have a fully loaded team, man. I think
they got Grayson Allen from Duval. What you mean? That's all they need. They got Grayson Allen.
I'm pretty sure. I'm a Grayson Allen fan, but I'm pretty sure Grayson got blocked on his last shot in the last game. I'm pretty sure.
I saw it. That's what I'm saying. Playoff Jimmy.
That's who you going. Who you got, AD?
I'm a Florida boy, so I'm going with Miami, man.
Okay, for sure. I'm with it.
You sure about that? You don't look too confident.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
You look like you second guessing yourself right now.
No, man, I'm not second guessing myself. The Heat gonna do what they do, man.
Well, say it with your
They're
chest.
They're gonna bring the heat.
Say it with your chest.
I got you, but Jason Tatum looked like MJ last game. I don't know if y'all saw the game.
Okay.
But he was just getting to the basket. He was doing what he wanted to do.
Well, let's talk about Jason Tatum.
Let's talk about it.
All right. So one game he goes off for 6. Then the next game he goes off for 51. Which one gonna show up? He bipolar now.
You sure you're not talking about AD, man? Who you talking about? You talking about Jason Tatum?
Tatum.
In the series, you saying he had 6 games, 1 game? Oh, at the beginning, okay.
I'm just saying that in certain games,
Uh-huh.
he pulls a no-show.
Not consistent.
This game right here in Miami,
Mhm.
there's a possibility Jason Tatum might not even show up to the team bus.
Nah, that man's gonna show up, man. Don't say that, man.
He might not even show up.
I know you saying that because he light skinned, man. But no.
I'm not. Listen, I defend my light skin.
I got you.
know
I
what
got
I'm
you.
saying? But
you,
I'm just saying, man, he might, just like some people that didn't go to the White House, he might have something going on tonight. He might not be able to make it.
I think Jason Tatum. is a great young player.
Don't lock them knees out. Jason.
Don't lock them knees out. Jason, don't lock them knees out. I think he's a great player. I think he's a top 5, top 10 player in the NBA right now. I think he's at the age where, I was looking at something. I forgot what show it was. They was talking about what age players won championships at. Most players won their first championship somewhere around the age of 28. Tatum is somewhere around 26. So I think him and Brown both have something to build on. I don't think they should break him up no matter what happened. But I think he's going to show up tonight.
Yeah. So who you going with?
I am going with
Here we go.
Boston.
Say it with confidence.
I'm not going with Boston for the series. I'm going with Boston. I think Miami actually wins it in Boston's Game 7. I think so.
Hold on. Say that again.
I think Miami actually wins it in Boston for Game 7. So I'm calling something that nobody else will call.
I'm confused.
I'm saying they lose it tonight, close game, but I think they come back and win it because it's never been done before, down 3-0, that they win it in Boston.
So why won't the Heat close it out tonight?
I think Tatum is going to go off, man. Early, just like he did last game. I think he's going to go off, man.
Put it like this. If they get back, if Jaylen Brown and the rest of the roster can get them back to Boston, I think that's when Tatum goes off. Him going off tonight.
So you say Brown does everything tonight?
No, I'm saying he doesn't do everything, but the confidence he plays with, the toughness he brings versus Jimmy, I think that's who is the tone setter. I think Tatum is the most skilled player, probably one of the most skilled player in the NBA. But when it comes to his approach and physically and mentally being ready, I think sometimes he checks out. That's just my opinion.
Also, did y'all hear the comments that Scottie Pippen said about Michael Jordan?
Oh, my goodness.
Something to the point of, I don't have the direct comments up here, but something to the point of that before he got there, that Jordan was trash pretty much?
Hey, man, somebody must have played that Future song, that Gucci flip-flop song.
But my question is, what happened? What was Pippen when Jordan left?
Hey, don't start
what was Pippen when
Jordan
joined? But my thing is this, man. That's why I talk about this brotherhood thing. Everybody, when you join a team, coaches like to say brotherhood, man. But as soon as those playing years are over, people just start hating on each other for no reason, man. Because
it's deeper than that now. It's tears to this. You know what's going on off the court right now.
Okay, but be grown enough not to say no crazy stuff.
I'm gonna ask you this. All right. So when Jordan and Pippen played,
yes. All
right, they in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Who did Jordan have with him in the locker room going around dapping up the players like Tatum? Who was in the locker room with him?
I don't know.
His son, Marcus, the one that's dating his wife.
Ooh.
He done seen this little kid from here.
Okay.
Walking around the locker room, dapping him up, playing with him. And now he's dating his wife?
Okay.
Come on, man.
Okay, so
That's heavy.
So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put a pause in right here, and when we come back on the other side, we're gonna bring Terrance Plummer on. This man is an amazing guy. I'm excited to have him on the show. But let's pay some bills real quick. This segment was brought to you by Bank of Lincoln Mortgage Jacksonville, helping home buyers and homeowners accomplish their financing goals. Head on over to www.boejax.com and get to know their dedicated team. You're listening to The Amateur's Edge on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I open the door and take you inside the locker room to get you closer to the field, the players and coaches you care about.
Get a look at Hayes' blog on 1010XL.com.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reese Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
Mark Watson for Hardball Creative, letting you know that Hardball has cooler promotions, but some people call them ice chests. Either way, check out the items you can put your company logo on at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all. She may be a Yankee, but the girl knows ball.
Someday she's gonna be a real big star.
Catch Mia O'Brien on XL Primetime weekdays, Helmets and Heels Tuesday nights, and on 1010XL's video and social channels. Driven by Arlington Toyota.
Are you an experienced automotive technician and tired of working for employers who put profit over people? Then come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road and get trained on how to diagnose and rebuild today's complex transmissions. See how we're different. Get traction on your career and come to Action.
Equal opportunity employer.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Attention golfers, Hidden Hills Golf Club has become an attractive destination for golfers all over North Florida. You too will enjoy our classic Arnold Palmer design that'll test your game and keep you coming back. Book a tee time today at hiddenhillsgc.com.
Working in the trades industry, going nowhere, sick of dealing with grueling residential install projects and demanding seasonal schedules? Become part of something better. All Weather Contractors wants you to join our multifamily and commercial construction property maintenance team now. Based in Jacksonville, we offer premium pay, bonuses, full benefits, 401k programs, employee stock ownership opportunities, and a culture focused on career advancements and opportunities. Build a better career in the commercial property maintenance industry. Apply online today at allweathercontractors.com.
Bridging the gap between the First Coast and the swamp.
Gators.
I'm Taylor Dahl. Join me for the Gator Report on 1010XL as I break down the latest storylines in Gator Nation.
Brought to you by Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts on 1010XL.
Hacker here for the Sausage Dudes. Look, you know I'm a sausage guy. And the Sausage Dudes, Paul and Patrick, make the best sausage I've ever tasted. Their high-quality pork and spices separate the Sausage Dudes from the pack. Try their 4 flavors, including Italian, Polish, Hungarian, and beer bratwurst today by picking them up at any Publix location in the Jacksonville area. A portion of their proceeds also get donated to the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida. It's Memorial Day weekend. Head to Publix today and pick up the Sausage Dudes sausage.
E.T. here, and y'all know how much I like my brown water, but I ain't gonna lie, it gives me headaches sometimes. So my alternative is Brackish Vodka. This gluten-free alternative to Tito's is 100% local, and all monies stays right here in Duval. Not only does Brackish Vodka make you feel good, but when you support Brackish Vodka, you're also helping local charities. Try it side by side with your favorite vodka, and you will taste and smell how natural Brackish Vodka really is. And when you do, remember who sent you. Come on, somebody.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. It's the Amateur's Edge, brought to you by B3 Better on 1010XL.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to the Amateur's Edge, and we got a good conversation. And we may open up the lines in the third segment, but we're talking about what Pippen said about Michael Jordan. You want to go ahead and kick that off?
Yeah, it's one of those topics that it's you got to touch on it, but you can't get too deep.
Okay.
But you just can only.
So what did he say for the listeners who just tuned in? What did he say?
So from what I heard, he said Jordan was a terrible player before he arrived to the Bulls. That's what Pippen said in an interview. And I would disagree with that statement. I think Pippen, definitely was a huge part of the success of the Bulls. But I think Jordan is, he's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
That's just my opinion. He's the GOAT. And, we talk about LeBron versus Jordan all the time, but I just think that, with Scottie and, his situation right now, I just think, he's bitter, It's tough.
Well, that's fine. You want to add anything to this before we move on? Randy.
I think this, man. I would add this and first Phil Jackson came along at the same time too, so Phil Jackson was a difference. But I do want to add this in life. What I do recognize about people, a lot of times because we're mad at one person, we associate another person with that. Whether it's friends, whether it's a mother and a daughter, whether it's a son and a father. And I hate when people do that because just because somebody who I know did something to you, don't associate that pain with me. And I see that a lot, and that could be what Scottie Pippen's doing, because of the situation with his son or whatever.
And then you look at The Last Dance and the way he was portrayed. I don't think he agreed with the way he was portrayed in The Last Dance. So I think that's another issue when you talk about, his stance and the way him and MJ interacts now. I think that probably just left a bitter taste in his mouth.
Okay.
All right, let's move on, man. We have Terrance Plummer in studio.
Oh man, this my man.
Oh,
this my main dude here though.
Awesome. Orange Park High School, former UCF Knight, Fiesta Bowl MVP. Went to the Washington Redskins and is currently playing American football linebacker out of the Orlando Guardians out of the XFL. So, Terrance, welcome to the show.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Glad to have you here, man. Your story is amazing. Your story is amazing. Talk to the folks a little bit about. Let's start. You want to start at OP? You want to start at Orange Park? You want to start in you want to start in Central Florida?
No, we can start at Orange Park because Orange Park heavily why I'm here today.
Mm-hmm. What any Pop Warner?
I played 1 year Pop Warner football at Orange Park Athletic Association.
Whoa!
I was supposed to play at San Souci, but I was just too big as a kid. That was when I was 8. It was just me and my mom.
Just too big.
And I was like 150 trying to play 120, and she didn't want me to have to lose that weight. So
that is a big thing because my middle son definitely had to lose weight every year. So he was always going to the sauna, always running. It was something that was very motivational because we had to do it. But it was bad when you can't eat the hot dogs and everybody else eating hot dogs.
Oh man, it's tough, man. They had me out there running with trash bags on at practice, and I'm the only kid in the 6th grade coming to school with salad boxes and everybody eating. Everybody eating when they want to eat their lunch, but I had to maintain weight for the first 5 weeks. But it was worth it though. Football definitely worth it.
So how was OP?
It was amazing, man. I thoroughly enjoyed playing at Orange Park. When I was there, we actually were pretty good. We trying to get back to those winning ways. But for the longest time, Orange Park was known in the school who had a lot of kids, but, never could put together a good, solid team. But I know all the guys that I grew up with, who I'm still close to this day. We was the first teams to win district championships, and we won the district 3 times. While I was there, we made it to the regional finals.
And what year? What years?
This is from 2009, 2010, and 2011 when I graduated.
Wow.
When last time you been back? Because I definitely challenge players who have been successful in the sport to go back to your high school. Even if you don't like the coach, go back and let them kids see they can be in your shoes one day. When last time you been back?
I go back all the time.
All right, bet.
I go back all the time. I love because the thing is I love to be around them and just try to give them some motivation more than anything. Because I think the thing that I didn't have while I was in school was I didn't have any representation from Orange Park who had made it to the highest level of either Division I football or maybe made it to the NFL. We had those guys, but they're a lot older than me, like Adrian White, and we had another TP, Big Terrance, who everybody knew around the city, who was a really good football player, who had gotten a little bit of trouble. But those are the only 2 people I knew from my high school who had ever done something that was really major. So I was like, I'm gonna make sure when I come back. I used to always come back from college. I came back when I was in the NFL, CFL, and I'm planning on going back around there this year to just say what's up.
Cleo, I got one thing though. This is one beef I had with the Jaguars, bro. one big beef. When the Jaguars was at the pinnacle of Jag Nation or whatever, a lot of times I would see them at the YMCA's, like on other sides of town.
Right.
But I really didn't see them like on the west side, man. That was just me. That's one thing I said.
Well, yeah, because a lot of the guys live on the south side of town.
True.
Or they live near the beaches, so I know exactly what you mean because I was one of those guys that would go to the YMCA, go to a LA Fitness or whatever, because I still wanted to hoop. I wanted to hoop, so I got my little basketball in, and then I lift a little weight, but for the most part, I just want to get out there and play around. And you see a lot of Jaguars in the city, man, that's just out in the community, doing some good things. But they also, they want to play a little ball every now and then.
For sure. I need y'all to them Sweetwaters and them Grandpas and them Jackson. What is it? The new one, the Jacksonville. I gotta get back with that name.
But you do have those guys that do go and speak at these organizations, though. From a community service standpoint. So yeah, they you'll see them out in the community, but it's more of a at that time it's more of them, fulfilling the commitment through the Jaguars.
Yeah,
so,
through the Jaguars.
Yeah,
I feel you. So UCF, man, how did you pick UCF, Terrance?
Man, it was a crazy process. Actually, I had 23 offers out of high school. I was a 3-star recruit at linebacker, and I had a couple offers to play fullback, like Georgia Tech and stuff like that, because we ran that old school wing T at Orange Park. Shout out to Coach Danny Green. He just went in the Hall of Fame last year.
Okay.
I appreciate Coach Green a lot, but I picked UCF because USF actually closed the door on me. So this is back when my cousin Sam, his name is Sam Barrington. He played in the NFL for the Green Bay Packers and the New Orleans Saints. I followed my big cousin all throughout my journey through high school, and I followed his, and I looked up to him so much. And he went to South Florida. My current linebacker coach for the XFL Guardians, he was actually the linebacker coach at University of South Florida. So it was like, it was meant to be Big Cuz there. This guy recruited me. I really like him. He loved Big Cuz. But turns out I went on my visit, did the whole thing. But when I got in there to tell them, hey, I want to commit to the University of South Florida, Coach Skip Holtz, I never forget it. My mama and my auntie was with me. They said, man, we don't have a scholarship for you, even though we brought you on an official visit, which really threw me off because I was really going to commit to them. I had been holding off. I actually had some SEC offers like Vanderbilt, Arkansas, and, I was just kind of thrown off by the whole situation. But the next week, I went to UCF. Coach O'Leary came to my house, and it really meant a lot for me for him to come to my house. He was the first head coach to come to my house and sit down with my mama. I never forget, my sister made the worst broccoli that day, and that man still ate it. So it showed that he was willing to. It showed that he was willing,
make some sacrifices.
Make some sacrifices for me to come.
So he made the first commitment.
So the broccoli was nasty, bro.
Man, my mama was so upset with her, man. It was mushy. It was salty.
She had one assignment.
So it was like broccoli soup or something.
It was like almost like broccoli soup, man. but she put it on the plate with his chicken, so it wasn't in a bowl.
So let me ask you a question. So this is important for linebackers trying to play at the highest level they can play. How much did you weigh going into college?
I was 220 going into college.
Great weight. Some linebackers can't get to that at first. So, but my question is to you, now, to be a linebacker on that next level, at the highest level, you can't just be a first and second down linebacker.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
you have to be able to play in the secondary also.
Most definitely.
So, and you have to be able to show that on film. And so, what I'm trying to tell parents about that, they show film of their kids just coming out, knocking people out, filling up holes, gaps, and stuff like that. How important is it to be able to show all that stuff in your film?
Well, the game's changed. Like, we got spread offenses, RPO offenses, everything's moving fast. And the thing is, nowadays, football, it's about scoring, it's about matchup. So you don't want to be the guy that, you can play the run, but when you're out there on the field, people are able to target you on third down, on second down, second and long. So you want to be able to show that you got some coverage skills, some zone skills. You can play a little bit of man-to-man, and that always translates well for college coaches to see that, okay, this guy can cover. He's not, a guy who can just only come downhill and play. He can actually drop back in coverage and not be a liability to the defense. So that is major.
All right, so after leaving UCF, how was it going to the Washington Redskins? And how did you get there?
It was amazing, man. I was thankful because my dream was always to play in the NFL. But the process, I just thought that's when I really got opened up to what it's like to be a professional football player and everything that happens that comes after you leave college. You know, I didn't get invited to the combine, and I was really upset with that because, you know, I was a Sports Illustrated All-American after my junior year. I had been all-conference for 3 years in a row, but I made first-team all-conference my junior and senior year. My stats were there. You know, I felt like everything that I was supposed to do in college, I had done and had been nothing but a, you know, upstanding individual. You know,
give me 1 second. So, like, let's talk about that because there's some kids that's gonna have the same experience as you. What was the biggest cause, in your opinion, for you not not going into the combine?
Honestly, I really don't know. The one thing I can say is that, you know, I'm not the biggest guy. I'm 6 foot. I'm like I was 235 leaving out of college, and that was a question with me: was I going to be fast enough to play in the NFL? Even though I had a ton of production in college and had performed at the highest level, you know, that's what the coaches were telling me. Like, we don't know if you're built. Are you big enough? Are you fast enough? You know, to play in the NFL. We know you got hunger. We know you got drive. You know, you've always shown that. But, you know, can you play football with the best of the best athletes in the entire world?
What year you left?
I came out 2015.
Was that you had graduated?
That was my senior year.
So you had to come out.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So did you get information from different scouts? So that's one thing I like to tell parents. Like, you have to get information from different scouts, from agents and stuff like that to see what place you're in. You didn't have a choice because you just come out your senior year. But some people come out early,
right,
and don't even graduate,
right,
and they don't get the information they need to get. You understand what I'm saying?
For sure. And I mean, honestly, another thing I tell kids too: if you hot,
woo,
you gotta get. You might. Right. That was the thing that I think, and that's another reason why.
Ooh, good one.
And that's another reason why, like, I enjoy doing this type of stuff to kind of tell my story, so I can possibly help somebody in the future, because I can honestly say I didn't have anybody that I knew personally that was in the NFL besides my cousin Sam, and he had went 4 years of college. So my thinking was, after my junior year, that's when we won the Fiesta Bowl. I was an All-American. I had made All-Conference, defensive MVP. I was probably the hottest I ever been as a college athlete, and I always knew I wanted to go to the NFL, but something in my back of my mind was like, you're 20 years old. So when I got to college, I was 17, so I played 18, 19, 20. My junior year, I was 20. And I felt like I needed another year of development. But what you don't understand is college is not there. When you lift weights in college and you doing things in college, it's based off of, like, you know, especially at UCF, with us being a smaller school, our coach wanted us to be, like, you know, hardcore, strong, powerful. But he wasn't really thinking about the NFL. He just thinking about a way for him to keep us, you know, try to keep the young guys. You know, we wanted to be that type of program. We wanted to be hard-nosed. And my body had been going through that for 3 years. So when I came back my senior year, I hadn't been hurt all the way up in my junior year. And then my senior year, I started getting those injuries, those knick-knack injuries, you know, the ankle, the shoulder. And it was because my body just couldn't take how much, you know, stress that we were doing in the weight room. So if I would have – so, guys, if you hot, you got opportunity to go to the NFL – you know, I mean, you got to look at the pros and cons. Like, what's the benefit? Like, if you think you can play in the NFL, why not go take it? It ain't gonna change in a year. You still gonna think the same thing. Go ahead and try and give yourself an opportunity. You know,
you always can go back. You got those 5 years to graduate and stuff like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
So
how was it? So give us that the time that you spent in the NFL. How was that?
It was good, but I had a big chip on my shoulder. You know, I didn't understand that, you know, it's a business in terms of, like, so in my first preseason, and it's my dog too, shout out to Martrell Spate, man. He played 4 years for the Washington Redskins, played for the Kansas City Chiefs, now he's in the XFL with me. That's my boy, that's my brother, but he'll even tell you. So he was a 5th round draft pick. We both came in as inside linebackers. I was a high priority free agent. You know, so they were bringing me in to have an opportunity to come make the team, you know, as a practice squad or whatever, make the regular season squad. And during that preseason, I outperformed every linebacker, even the starters. I even got some first-team reps going into the third game. I mean, everything, I outperformed Martrell. But when it came down to cut day, they put him on the active roster, and they put me on the practice squad. Wow. So, and Martrell even tell you, like, we both played the same position. We both got, like, the same action. You know, I outpaced them in tackles. I outpaced them in tackles for loss. I had a lot more big plays. Even the Washington media was saying, like, this kid Plummer might be the best undrafted free agent that we got on this team. So, you know, I had a big chip on my shoulder, but when I didn't make the team, it made me a little bit upset because at that point in time, I always thought the NFL was the best 11 men are going to play.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
The best 11 men are going to play. And for the most part, that's right. But also, you got to look at it like this. I invested $2.2 million in this guy right here. He needs to play.
That's the business side of it.
That's the business side of it.
And when we come back, we're gonna bring on Reggie Northrup. Yeah,
Yep.
He's gonna be on with us. And so let's pay some bills real quick, man. Good stuff. We're gonna keep going. You're gonna stay here with us for a minute. This segment was brought to you by First Coast Cargo, the leads the freight and transportation logistics service market, and is known as the region's most dependable and highly professional service provider. Contact First Coast Cargo toll free today at 1-844-731-2137 for all your professional shipping needs. You're listening to the Amateur's Edge on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
Beach Bar Rum, Santo, and Sammy's Beach Bar Cocktails present Crazy Times. Sammy Hagar and the Circle, live October 26th, the St. Augustine Amphitheater. Sammy brings the party with George Thorogood and the Destroyers, with special guest Damon Fowler. Tickets on sale now at theamp.com. Crazy times are coming. He's got 55 reasons to listen to Jaguars Today every Friday.
It's always been us versus them.
Tom McManus.
I want that played at my funeral.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
Come to Bowden Eye for all your eye care needs. Hicken here. Did you know that dry eye disease affects up to 60 million Americans? Dry eye disease is known to progress. Dry eye disease is one of the most common but least diagnosed eye conditions doctors see in their patients. Many of us who have dry eye may not even feel it. At Bowden Eye and Associates, visit today for your personal consultation. Keeping the First Coast focused. Bowden Eye and Associates. New location now open off County Road 210 in St. Johns County.
I'm Justin Nornduff, creator of DVS, a medically backed pitching development program designed to develop young throwers' arms safely. We are excited to be launching our Florida Development Center at B3 Better in Jacksonville. To celebrate DVS, we are offering a free virtual coaches clinic and also giving away 20 free team DVS and athletic assessments at B3 Better. To register for the clinic and your team's chance to win, go to b3better.com/DVS and secure your spot today.
Beach towel? Check. Beach chair? Check. The Summer Starts Here sales event at Arlington Toyota? Check. Now is the time, folks, to get hot deals on even hotter Toyotas. Even better, Arlington has over 300 new Toyotas available. And with every new Toyota purchase at Arlington, you get their lifetime warranty. That's unlimited time and miles. I think this is going to be your best summer yet. Shop the Summer Starts Here sales event at Arlington Toyota today. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying. They can also signal a major problem or electrical emergency. So leave it to the pros and Mr. Sparky.
888-8 Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's the Amateur's Edge, brought to you by B3 Better on 1010XL.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have Terrance Plummer in the studio with us, and we're having a good conversation. And he had just gotten signed on to to Washington, and instead of actually being he was on the practice squad, and that wasn't a good thing. So, but Cleo, I want you to speak to that, a little bit, because since you're NFL great.
You know what? I can definitely speak to that experience. So when I was with the Chargers, I was on the practice squad. And the thing that people don't understand is that practice squad is a real vital position for the team. And every week for me, I was on pins and needles because, I'm on the sideline dressed in, street clothes, and I see a linebacker get hurt. I'm like, uh-oh, they're going to need that spot for the practice squad. Let me go home and pack my stuff up. I'm gone. Then guess what? I make it through that week. Next week, tight end gets banged up. You're like, oh, they're going to have to bring in an extra tight end. And back then it was only 5 practice squad spots. They've expanded the practice squad roster currently. So I can definitely speak to that experience. And really, for the young, up-and-coming, NFL and professional football guys, really, when you're on that practice squad, it's really a way for you to develop those relationships. Because what happens is
that's the big part.
Yeah, that's the big part. And that's the thing that you don't understand going into the league is that all those little coaches running around, right, that's running the practice squad, that's cutting up the films, that's the offensive analyst and, the QCs. In the league, eventually those are going to be the next defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, head coaches. And that's where you establish those relationships and those strong ties when you're grinding and they are also grinding at the same time. Because when I was with the Dolphins, Kirby Smart, all these other coaches that was on Saban's staff that was doing all that grunt work, now they're OCs in the SEC. Head coaches in the SEC. They are offensive coordinators in the NFL. So you don't really realize that, but that's a huge part of your journey, of anybody's journey that's going through that practice squad. So speak to that experience and just how you felt about how it started and then how it ended for you at Washington.
Yeah, and I wish I would have known something like that, Cleo, because now that's the key to it all. Relationships that you could build. Me and my teammates talk about that all the time in the XFL. I felt like the reason why I was able to get in the XFL was because of relationships that I had built over the years, Yeah, my experience in the practice squad, it was developmental, and I wish I would have looked at it, more of like the guys that were helping with the practice squad. You look at them and you see what position they're in now, but if you know that later on down the line, that these guys might be the OCs, the position coaches, everything like that. You might have treated them a little differently. I'm not saying that I treated them bad, but, I just didn't understand that process with me going from I've always been a starter my whole life to now, being where I'm at in that position. But it was a good time. I was on the practice squad for 1 week in Washington, got elevated to the active roster, played 3 regular season games, so I got vested. But then they grabbed Mason Foster. I got brought back down to the practice squad and then eventually released because somebody else got hurt. And then that's how I ended up being with the Minnesota Vikings for the rest of that year. So it was definitely, a process. I had spent my whole time with Washington and ended up being in Minnesota 3 months later.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is just like Coach Saban said from Alabama, keep your feet where you are at that present moment. And don't just think about these next 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. Think about the next 40 years. Yep. And the next 40 years, no matter what kind of sports player you are, you're not going to be playing football, basketball, baseball in that moment, thinking about that future. Yes, so right now, let's go ahead and bring on Reggie Northrup. We should call this a linebacker show because we got 2 linebackers from Jacksonville. So we're talking about First Coast High School, all ACC linebacker, former FSU player. Now he's a current pro and MMA fighter and playing for the DC Defenders. Reggie, how you doing?
What's good? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Glad to bring you on, man. Good show, great show, man. We're getting a lot of good notes from both of y'all, man. And let's talk about you, man. Like going from First Coast to FSU, what were some issues you went through?
Shoot, man. Shoot, I was at a couple schools before. I went to Reigns, and then like things didn't work out football wise. So we ended up transferring to Coast. I got with Coach C. He coached me up, got my technique right. Then he started sending me off to camps with the guys, and I started racking in offers like my junior year. I came to first coach like spring of my sophomore year, going into my junior year, and then I was there for my whole junior year. I came in my junior year, started the season. I had like 15 offers, and then by the end of that season, I had like 20.
Oh man, that's crazy, man. So, what's some things that just looking back from years at FSU and you know high school, Pop Warner or whatever that affected you on your professional level? Some things maybe you could have worked on a little bit better, or some things that actually prepared you for it.
Man, honestly, man, my whole career, I've been through adverse situations. People see like a lot of the accolades and stuff that I might have accomplished, but they don't know I've been through the mud trying to get to where I want to be at. And always been looked over, but I got a habit of proving people wrong and say I can't do. So I feed off of that, and that's just helped me throughout my whole career as a pro. I still do it to this day. And anybody that dare say what I can't do, I'm gonna make them look stupid. So that's how I get down.
I hear you. So how was your NFL experience?
Man, it was whatever, man. I was a priority free agent to the Redskins. There for a bit. Them boys needed more big bodies on the edge, so they ended up. I was the only undrafted free agent in a linebacker room full of 12 guys. So, we only playing 2 inside backers. I was the only free agent, so they ended up letting me go after a month. Then I did workouts and stuff, trained. I had a couple workouts. I had one with the Seahawks, had one with the Bears. I ended up having one with the Rams later in 2016, and got on P Squad with them. They ended up signing me, so I was there with them for like 4 or 5 weeks on P Squad towards the end of the season. When the season ended, they signed me to the Futures. Came back in the spring. They had a new coaching staff, so then McVay had his own plan, so they went with that, and I ended up getting cut. Then I ended up in Canada a little bit. Went up there and balled out for a hot second and was able to get out my contract. So then I got out of that. Then I ended up in the AAF League. I played there. Went crazy. Then that shut down. They had that lawsuit, whatever. Then the next year they had the XFL for 2020. Then me and TP was on the team together for the Tampa Bay Vipers. We played there. Then COVID happened, and that season ended. Once COVID happened, that season ended, and then it was like a whole year off, like 2021. But the rest of that 2020, I needed an adrenaline rush because it got boring. The only sport that was thriving was MMA, and I already got a background in fighting sports. So I decided to start fighting in 2020. End of 2020, I had my debut in Jacksonville, and then in all of 2021, there was no football, so I fought all that year. Ended up getting signed to one of the top MMA agencies in the world, and kind of making a name for myself going back into football with fighting. And then that's when the USFL came, and I had a fight like right before that season started, like a month before, and then I went bulk back up and went into training camp. Then played the USFL season.
Man.
Then and I balled out there. Then that ended. Then just went back to fighting again. Then I trained last December. I finally went pro on and then I had a fight on UFC Fight Pass. It was streaming on UFC Fight Pass app, and that was in December. Then I came to camp with the XFL. So now I'm here.
Man, that's awesome.
It's a heck of a journey.
A heck of a journey. So I do want to ask you and TP this, like for these young people that that might have an opportunity to play in the XFL. Like, give us a gist of how is the XFL. You got the Rock and all that kind of stuff. Like around how much money you make and just the experiences of it.
Man, it's cool, man. It's fun football. I mean, me as a pro personally, it's the most fun I've had as a pro athlete playing ball in a long time. I don't know if the young guys could say that because this may be their first rodeo, but I know me personally, being in the game for a while, this is the most fun I've had playing ball. It's organized, pretty cool. The rules not too bad. I mean, you can really smack people out here. The only thing is the quarterback. Only thing is the quarterbacks, of course, but we all know the quarterback's always going to be protected, so, that's what comes with the territory. But other than that, man, it's smash mouth football. It's high-level football. The production in the media is A1, man, so it's like you ain't going to sit here and look at football and be like, man, I ain't watching this crap. This ain't no real football. Nah, this is real deal football. Everybody in that league, majority of the guys in that league got NFL snaps, got NFL experience. You got guys on teams with NFL rings. You got guys on a team with 9 seasons under their belt in the NFL. So it's not no root football for sure.
So TB.
Yeah, man. Just like, and just so y'all know, Reggie, this my brother, man. We hang out, we train, we play together, but this my man right here, bro. It's good to hear my dog on here, man. That's my brother. But yeah, man, XFL is fun. We play top brand football. If you ever watch it on TV, they do a great job with the way the game is viewed by the consumers. I feel like with us having like all the different audio, you get to hear the play calls, you get to hear our defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, calling the plays on the sideline. It's just another level of immersion for the fans to be able to watch. We had a good time, just like Reggie said. They let us go out there and bang a little bit, and the XFL is good because if you're a young guy and you're not getting that opportunity in the NFL, but you feel like you can play professional football at the highest level, this is this league is a good opportunity for you to be a professional, learn what being a professional is, being on time. Learning about the schedule, it's different from college. College, everything is planned for you. And when you get to the XFL, it's a little different because you're going to have off time. And usually that off time determine, how good of a player you're going to be when it comes to Saturday and Sunday when we go and play. So, it's a good opportunity for some guys to kind of see what it's like to be a pro, be away from, some normalcy and get paid, we get paid $5,000 for every game that we play, and if you win, you get a $1,000 bonus. We had 10 games in the regular season, plus we get paid during training camp. They take care of our breakfast and lunch and our housing. So, you get to take most of that money home if you do what's right with it.
So that's not bad.
It's not bad.
Somebody that ain't bad. That's good. Name another, man, that's really good. at that age, name something else you can do something that you love and get paid that. It's a great start to life, I think.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Reggie.
I say, nah, man, I'm just agreeing, tagging along. Hey, that's man.
Because I was going to ask you a question. I was going to ask your question, Reggie, when it comes to your MMA training and your football training, right? So you spoke about that, and what weight class do you fight in MMA? Like, what do you have to get down to?
Yeah, I fight light heavyweight, and you got to cut down to 205. So I cut down to 205 from 220, and I just rock out like that. Like middle of my fight camp, I get my weight down to like 210, 215, and walk around there every day. And then like a week before is when I cut that last 5 to make weight. Then like after the weigh-in, I'll eat again and stuff and put food back in me. I'll probably be back up 217 on fight night.
Wow. So then going back into football, so now you got to get that weight back. So is it tough for you to train to now be a professional football player, be a linebacker to take those hits? Like how hard is it for you to get that weight back?
I ain't gonna lie, it's not hard, but it's not easy either because it's like sometimes your body kind of filters out, gets used to being around that range when you be in this so long. But the football, all the pounding and stuff on the body from football, it just naturally like develops and tones your body up for it. You know what I'm saying? So, like when I cycle back into football training, getting out of MMA, I focus on hitting the weights hard. You know what I'm saying? Heavy lifts, explosive movement. You know what I'm saying? My running. But my running already be on point because a lot of the stuff is muscle memory from years and years of being a football player. And the other half is my cardio already like freakish. from fighting. You know, that's like the hard. You gotta really have cardio. You can't be in there out of shape. So it just all meshed together, man. I go into the season and stuff. I'll be about 220. One time though, I got a little light. I was like 218, and I felt the difference when I had to engage with linemen and disengage and stuff. You know, those little pounds, they make a difference.
Absolutely.
So I really try to lock in on that, just keep it around that 220 range. But for the most part, man, to be honest, man, I really be playing mid-season. I'll be like 218, 222, just consistently. You know, and I just keep it there. I'm efficient at that weight. I'm fast at that weight. I'm deadly and strong at that weight. But it doesn't really matter too much. I try not to get too locked in on being too.
Man, Reggie, Reggie, let's think, man. We got to get on out of here, man. Man, thank you so much, TP, for being on the show. Reg, same thing to you, man. Always great to have you in the building, Cleo. We do what we do, Randy.
Oh, yeah.
You guys have been listening to the Amateur's Edge on 1010XL on 92.5 FM.